Marcus Hayes stood in the hallway of Riverside Elementary, smoothing down his worn flannel shirt. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead as parents filed past him toward their children's classrooms. He checked his watch. 7 minutes until his meeting with Emma's teacher. His daughter had been struggling lately. Ever since her mother left 2 years ago, Emma had become quieter, more withdrawn. At 8 years old, she deserved better than what life had handed her. Marcus joined the line outside room 214, third grade. He noticed the other parents chatting easily, mothers in yoga pants, fathers in business casual. He felt out of place in his work clothes, smelling faintly of sawdust from the construction site. The door opened. A woman stepped out to call the next parent. Time stopped. Marcus felt his breath catch in his chest. 25 years dissolved in an instant. Olivia? The woman froze. Her hazel eyes widened, and her hand went to her throat. She was older now, fine lines around her eyes, but still breathtakingly beautiful. Her chestnut hair fell in soft waves around her shoulders, just like he remembered. Marcus. His name came out as barely a whisper. They stood there, two people who'd once meant everything to each other, now strangers in a school hallway. "You're Emma's teacher?" he finally managed. Olivia shook her head slowly, seeming to gather herself. "No, I'm here for the parent conferences. Consulting." She paused, her voice steadying. "I didn't know you lived in Riverside. 5 years now. After the divorce, I want a fresh start for Emma." He shifted his weight. "You look good, Liv." A sad smile crossed her face. "So, do you?" The parent ahead of Marcus emerged from the classroom. Breaking the spell, the actual teacher, Mrs. Peterson, appeared in the doorway. "Mr. Hayes, we're ready for you." Marcus glanced back at Olivia. "It was good seeing you." "Wait." Olivia's voice was urgent. "I'm actually here because I chair the education board. We're evaluating programs. Could we talk? After your conference?" Marcus nodded, his heart hammering. "I'll find you." The conference was a blur. Mrs. Peterson's words about Emma's withdrawal and declining participation washed over him. He tried to focus, tried to be the father Emma needed, but his mind kept drifting to the woman waiting in the hallway. Olivia Martinez, his first love, the girl he'd planned to marry, before life pulled him in different directions, before he'd chosen a football scholarship over following her to art school, before pride and youth and stupidity had ended everything. 20 minutes later, he found her standing by the gym entrance, gazing at the basketball hoops. "Remember when we used to sneak in here after games?" she asked without turning around. "I remember everything, Liv." She turned to face him, and he saw tears glistening in her eyes. "I heard about your divorce." "I'm sorry, Marcus." "How did you know?" "Small world. I moved back 6 months ago to open a regional office. My company designs educational software." She wrapped her arms around herself. "I'm the CEO now. Funny how life works out. You always were brilliant. Not brilliant enough to make us work." The words hung between them, heavy with old pain. "That wasn't on you," Marcus said quietly. "I was the one who chose football over us. I was the one who was too proud to admit I'd made a mistake. We were kids, Marcus, 20 years old, and thinking we had all the answers. I think about that summer sometimes, before everything fell apart." Olivia smiled, a real smile this time. "The summer we drove to the coast. You taught me to surf. You were terrible at it." "I was not." She laughed, and the sound transported him back decades. "I stood up at least twice. You fell 17 times in the first hour. You counted." "I counted everything about you, Liv. Every smile, every laugh, every moment." Her laughter faded. "Why didn't you call? After the injury, after football ended. I heard you tore your ACL sophomore year." Marcus looked away. Pride. Shame. I'd given up everything for that scholarship, and it meant nothing. How could I come back to you after that? I would have taken you back in a heartbeat. I know. That's why I couldn't call. You deserve better than a guy with a broken dream and no plan. So you married someone else. Yeah, Jessica. She was kind and patient, and everything I thought I needed. But I couldn't give her what she deserved either. Not really. He met Olivia's eyes. How about you? Ever marry? Close once. But I built a company instead. Poured everything into it. Turns out I'm better at code than relationships. I don't believe that. Believe it. I'm exactly what everyone says. Successful, driven, and completely alone. Marcus stepped closer. You're here, aren't you? At a school, helping kids. That doesn't sound like someone who's alone. I'm here because I needed to do something that mattered. The money, the success, it all feels empty, Marcus. I wake up in my expensive condo and wonder what it's all for. I wake up in my small house and make pancakes for my daughter. Sometimes she even smiles at me. He smiled sadly. We both ended up somewhere we didn't expect. Olivia reached out, her fingers barely touching his arm. Tell me about Emma. So he did. He told her about the divorce, about Emma's silence, about being a single father who worked construction by day and tried to figure out parenting by night. He told her about the loneliness and the fear that he was failing his daughter. Olivia listened, really listened, the way she always had. When he finished, she said, "She's lucky to have you. Doesn't feel that way. Trust me, a father who shows up, who tries, who loves her even when it's hard. That's everything." She paused. I consult at this school every week. Let me help. Let me work with Emma. Liv, you don't have to do that. I want to. Please. Marcus looked at this woman, this ghost from his past who'd walked back into his life. He saw the girl he'd loved and the woman she'd become, and he felt something shift in his chest. Something that felt like hope. Okay, but on one condition. What's that? Have coffee with me. Not for Emma. For us. Olivia's breath caught. Marcus, I don't know if that's wise. Probably not. But 25 years ago, I walked away from you. I'm not making that mistake twice. She studied his face, searching for something. Whatever she saw made her smile. Saturday morning. The cafe on Main Street. I'll be there. As Marcus drove home that night, his phone rang. It was Olivia. I just want to say, her voice was soft. I never stopped wondering about you, about us, about what we could have been. We can't change the past, Liv. No, but maybe we can write a different future. Marcus smiled in the darkness of his truck. Maybe we can. When he got home, Emma was already asleep. He stood in her doorway, watching her breathe, and for the first time in years, he felt something like peace. Sometimes life gave you second chances. Sometimes yesterday walked through a door and offered you tomorrow. He wasn't sure where this road would lead, but for once, he was ready to find out. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories about second chances and the courage to love again. Leave a comment below about your own unexpected reunion or moment when the past became your future. Your story might inspire others who are still waiting for their second chance.